Hello everyone, welcome back to Better With Time because I changed my username. I just got a comment last week saying that someone else got in trouble with YouTube for claiming that they were giving advice. So disclaimer, I'm not giving advice to anyone. This is my own personal experiences that I've had in life. I've lived in 3 different countries, in 3 different continents. Before the age of 18, you know, I feel like I currently live in America by myself. My whole family is in Japan. Just wanted to share my life with the world, and it's not because I want to do something, it's just for myself. And if anyone agrees or disagrees or feels neutral about anything I'm talking about, that's great. Please leave a comment below what you think, what you want to hear more. I love sharing my stories, and I personally also love watching people's stories and story time videos. So let's dive into today's topic, which is you don't get to choose your family. What this means is, I've been thinking about this a lot recently, and thankful for social media and the internet. People don't understand how good and bad it can be. For example, the internet has changed in the past 20 years drastically. When our parents, by our parents, I'm talking like people that were born in the 50s and 60s, did not have internet. They can't look up closest coffee store, closest restaurant, good Italian restaurants in New York City, London, Paris, Tokyo, whatever. That was not possible. Global mobility was not possible. If you were born somewhere, 80%, more than 50%, 80% of the time, I want to say like majority, stayed where they're from. Now, in the past 20 years, people have been like working remotely. Oh, like because I saw this, reel at Bali, let's go to Bali, let's live in Bali, let's go to Europe, let's go to Japan. This global mobility thing has been it's a recent thing. But straying away from our topic, I was looking online today and saw so many. I went into the Emily Ratajkowski rabbit hole. I will share no comments about her because it's not my place to share other people's comments or other people's lives. But referring to her being a single mom, dating in New York City, single, I don't know if she's taken or not, but I don't know her that well. I don't know her at all. So let's stop judging people you only know online. I think she's stunning. And that's that. That's it. But let's talk about myself, and people should only be having opinions about themselves. No one should be having opinions about other people, especially if you don't know them. But I was calling my grandma today, and I was talking about visiting her, and I was like, hey, so like, what are we gonna do when I visit you? Very normal question to ask when you're visiting a family member. She goes, you can work with me, you can help me work. This is my first year post-grad. For 22 years when I was in school, and I didn't have a full-time job, I didn't support myself. I did have a lot of family support growing up, which I'm very, very grateful for, and I definitely want to give back in the future. But did not think of anything, because our family interactions are me working for my parents. It would always be at their workplace. Growing up, my mom was a single mom and she did real estate. My weekends were open houses. And that's all I remember about. Of course, we went to Disneyland once in a while. Of course, she took me to parks. Of course, she was a good mom. Now we actually have a little bit of a rocky relationship, which I will talk about in another video. But that's all I've known. My whole family are hustlers. And I learn a great deal of life from them, and I will not change it for the world. But it does come with, cons, like pros and cons. It does come with cons, which is not being able to talk about anything other than surface level transactional stuff. growing up, I would only talk about where I wanted to go to school, how I'm doing in school, am I getting good grades, what kind of college I want to go to, what do I want to be. Suddenly, like when I become an adult, do I have a boyfriend? Am I getting married? When am I gonna have kids? How much am I making? You know, like it's very like transactional stuff. Even my father, when he was still alive and I would try to call him, he'd be like, sorry, I'm busy right now. Call me at 4 p.m. Please confirm. And I would have to say, yes, confirmed, period, for him to acknowledge it and then send me a Google invite. That is literally how I grew up. So when I have a Teams call right now, I'm not fazed by it at all. I'm very used to the dynamic of RSVPing to things before going. I'm talking like family stuff too, RSVP too. But and then it just all seemed like a competition within my family. It was like, oh, like who's making the most money, who works for who, and that's all I've really known in my life. So my full-on mindset is hustling. I want to hustle and hustle. But when you're surrounded by Western Americans, that's not all they value about. Especially in my generation, work-life balance is so big, where people can work remotely and also travel at the same time, where people, you know, work from home. So there's so many different things that people can do right now, start their own business, just a train of different things that they can do. So when I bring those values and ideas to my Asian family, and when I say Asian, Asia is so big. It's from parts of the Middle East all the way to Russia, so I cannot speak for all of Asia's continent. So when people are like, oh, I love Asian food, let's specify that, you know? But anyways, that's another topic. Today, I'm talking about how you can't choose your family, and the environment that you're in really creates who you are as a person. And for 22 years, I was so sad that my family didn't do Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays. It was not special. Nothing was family oriented. Nothing was special. Their love language is making me food. But that's it. There's no conversation after that. It was like myself talking about myself when I was having a conversation. Hey mom, hey grandma, this is what I've been doing. They didn't ask me, but me being from a Western culture, going to school in America, that's all I know, you know? When you go into a class, when you first work, tell us 5 cool things about yourself. That is not a thing in Japan. No one cares what you like to do. It's a very like one-minded orientation. Now it is definitely, with global mobility, a lot of things have been modernized in Japan. A lot of Western cultures have been in place, starting from music to film to clothing. People are expressing themselves through art, which is beautiful, because I did not see that for a very long time. And by very long time, my whole life, it was really hard to picture myself. Like, I never wore leggings and a tank top in Japan, but recently I do when I go, because no one seems to really care too much anymore, and I feel more free. So a good thing about global mobility and our generation is how people are seeing how other cultures are and taking the good parts of it, hopefully. And with that, I am so thankful and grateful that I get to live in America, that I get to create my life the way I want to. And how freeing is that, you know? Like 50 years ago, 100 years ago, a woman couldn't do anything that I wish to do right now. So with everything combined, you can't choose your family, but you can choose the way to take those good parts out of your family, you know? How my family is very resilient and hardworking, and, you know, comes from a hustle culture. Yes, I can't talk about random stuff. Yes, they only ask me how my work is going and if I'm doing a good job at work. And I used to reject that. I used to reject it all the time. I used to tell my mom, hey, I want to do this because my friends do this with their family. Hey, can we talk about this? Why don't we talk about this? And I would keep hearing, sorry, I'm busy. Sorry, I'm busy. Oh, I have a meeting in an hour. Oh, I have to go here in an hour. Can't talk to you. Reject. Obviously, they listened to me when I RSVP to a time. But the way that American Western families interact with each other, I've been jealous my whole life. The way they cherish each other's well-being and care about each other. And, you know, so I guess what I'm learning and trying to express in this video, and the reason I brought up Emily Ratajkowski, is because, yes, she has a unique taste in, you know, how she goes about in life, how she publicizes her life. But you can't judge anyone but yourself. You don't know anything that goes through anyone's mind but yourself. Like, as close as I am with my friend or my family, close or not, I will never understand what their life was like, and they'll never know what I'm thinking about or how I want my life to be. So who are you to judge someone else's thought process, you know? Because everything in life is a mind game. If you believe something, whether that be positive or negative, that will be your outcome. So when people are like, manifest, blah, 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 it's all in the mind. Manifesting isn't like a real thing. It's about mind work and how you wire and train your brain to think in certain ways. And people need to realize that sooner and stop blaming their habits and their life. Oh, my dad did this to me, so now I am also not going to do that anymore. Or I do that because it's my dad's habit. Who the hell cares? If you don't think that's a good habit, change it. But change and mobility only comes from yourself. Because if you don't believe it, it won't happen. Same with dreams. If you have a dream, career, family, life outcome, dream about it, think it, believe it. It'll happen. Why? Because you believe it and you think about it every day. Your brain is scientifically, biologically wired to do the things you think about every day. So that is my one message from this video. You can't choose who you're, like what family you're born into, but you can choose how to wire your brain and take the good parts out of certain aspects, whether that be a characteristic your mom has, your dad has, your family has. And don't try to force your feelings into those people that'll never understand. If there's people out there that understand and want to listen to your thoughts, you have found your person, because that is very rare. I have great friends that really, really value my opinion and like to talk to me and talk through things with me. And I cherish those friends so much and those relationships so much. But if there are people out there that don't understand you, accept it straight up. People won't change for you. People only change for themselves when they believe it. So I hope that was something that people relate to, don't relate to, understand, don't understand, but thanks for watching and see you next time.